So, have you ever stopped to wonder how your favorite creators could actually build a stable career and, make a real world difference at the same time? Well, today we're diving into a pitch deck from a company called Signal Daddy Media. They're proposing this really fascinating model that aims to connect audience engagement directly with community impact. Let's break down how they think they can pull it off. It really all kicks off with this question, one that we're hearing more and more online. I mean, you see these massive channels, millions of followers, right? But behind the scenes, so many of these creators are just struggling. They're burning out. So, what is the big disconnect between having this huge audience and actually building a sustainable life? And according to this pitch deck, the core problem is one of stability. They're basically saying the entire system has this fundamental weakness, just baked right into its design. And here it is, the heart of the issue. For so many creators, that follower count and their actual income are not nearly as connected as you think. Chasing the algorithm, chasing brand deals, chasing ad revenue, it can feel like you're on a treadmill that just never, ever stops. This slide just illustrates that paradox perfectly, doesn't it? As the follower count climbs up and up, the actual stability for the creator can often head in the opposite direction. It's a system that seems to reward constant, frantic growth over any kind of sustainable connection. But you know what? Creators aren't the only ones feeling this way. Turns out, this isn't just a creator issue. On the other side of the whole thing, you have organizations. We're talking businesses, nonprofits, you name it. And they're finding it harder than ever to connect with people in a way that feels, well, real. And the source points to a few key reasons why. First, a lot of the old school outreach just feels totally transactional. Then there's something they call AI marketing fatigue, and we've all felt this, right? It's that feeling when you just know you're talking to a bot or some algorithm. And the result of all this? Real, genuine community engagement is actually going down. So the really crucial shift here is moving away from the transactional stuff. The one-time ad, the quick sale, and moving toward a relational approach, which is all about building trust for the long haul. But that brings up a massive question. How in the world do you scale something as personal as an authentic connection? Well, this is where they introduce their solution. It's a platform they've designed to be the bridge between creators who desperately need stability and all those organizations that are looking for genuine connection. And here it is. The company's called Signal Daddy Media. And yeah, the name is definitely unique, but their core product is called the SDM Engagement Engine, and the whole idea is that this is the system that can solve both of those problems at the same time. So, what is it exactly? According to the source, the engagement engine is a system for people to earn an income and build real relationships all through doing cause-driven community work. It's basically about connecting making money directly with making meaning. Now, what's really interesting here is how it breaks down the different pieces. The platform tries to connect 4 different worlds. You've got children's literacy through books, remote work for community members, fundraising tools for nonprofits, and a way for families to get excited about reading again. It's a lot to bring together. Okay, so that's the what's, but how does any of this actually work in practice for, say, a content creator and their audience? Well, the source lays out a pretty clear 4-step process. All right, here's the flow. Step 1. The creator shares an opportunity with their audience. And it's not a product, it's a remote business role. Step 2, any followers who are interested can join through the creator's own branded page. Step 3, and this is super important, these new members then activate the system by connecting with local organizations. And finally, step 4, that activation creates real-world impact and, in turn, recurring income for everybody involved. All right, I know what you're thinking. This flowchart looks a little intense, but stick with me here. This is the big picture view of how all these different pieces are designed to connect to each other. Let's just break it down into a much simpler story. So let's make that flow way simpler. Imagine you follow your favorite creator. You decide to join their peer network. As part of that network, maybe you reach out to a local animal shelter, a nonprofit you really care about. Through this system, that shelter gets access to tools that help them find new donors, which helps them grow their base of support. See, it's designed to be this self-completing loop. So the goal here is this self-sustaining cycle where literally everyone benefits. But what does that benefit actually look like? Let's talk about the 2 big M's, the money and the mission. A huge part of the impact is financial. The model says that for every single book or ebook reload that happens inside the system, a full 20% of that goes directly to community organizations like local schools and churches.
The other 80%, that covers the platform's operations and, of course, the income that gets paid out to the creator and their community members.
And this is that sustainable cycle it's all supposed to create. You've got families and kids getting into literacy challenges. You've got local businesses getting great positive visibility. And it all feeds back into this loop that supports both education and the local economy. Pretty cool idea. And they're arguing this is not some niche little idea. They believe it's tapping into massive existing markets. I mean, we're talking about a $100 billion education and family market, plus another $40 billion that companies are already spending on social good stuff. This model wants to sit right at the intersection of those two huge worlds. And this right here, this is the underlying bet that this entire model is based on. That audiences are growing up. They're not just satisfied with being sold another product. They actually want to align themselves with creators who have a clear, genuine purpose. So when you put it all together, what does it add up to? Well, the source is making a really bold claim here. They're saying this isn't just another way to make money, it's a way to completely redefine what digital influence even means. And they back this up with testimonials like this one from a creator partner. She says, "I'm finally earning consistently, and every share actually helps someone." That quote really tries to close that gap we talked about way back at the beginning, that gap between just making an income and making an impact. Which really leaves us with one final, pretty big question. For more than a decade now, we've used things like followers, views, and likes as the currency of the creator economy. But could all of that be changing? Could authentic, measurable purpose become the new and most valuable currency for creators and for all of their communities? Something to think about.